So the app designed for women to date safer, had a data breach. And I never thought a data breach could be this controversial and divisive, but more on that later. Basically, the app was designed for women to inform each other about factual information about men who may be harmful, violent, etc. It was being marketed as a dating advice app, but it was essentially a whisper network. If you have an obliviously positive outlook on everything, like me, then the app is a great idea. But unfortunately, there's always going to be a few bad eggs. So some users were spreading falsehoods and defaming men on the app, and in some cases, even doxing them. So these users are obviously making enemies, and someone was searching for vulnerabilities within the app, with ill intent most likely. And here's what they discovered: a publicly accessible Firebase bucket. The most rookie mistake that I've never ever heard of a company doing before. And this bucket contained tens of thousands of user selfies and IDs, including driver's licenses and even government IDs. So this wasn't really a data breach, it was more of a data leak. A software engineer in the company effed up and made all this public. And this data breach was just a simple Python script to scrape the bucket and download all the files that were uploaded to it. So all the selfies and IDs of these women are available publicly. And people started using this in various ways. Someone made a map of all the users' addresses. Someone else made a website where you can rank these women against each other using their photos. Now, I don't know for certain, but this app is most likely vibe coded. And I say this because no experienced software engineer should make this sort of mistake. Both engineers on their LinkedIn page have more professional experience than me, and I wouldn't do that. I've configured S3 buckets for publicly accessible CDNs, and even in that case, the bucket itself is private and only accessible via the CDN URL. Not to mention when you're handling tens of thousands of pieces of PII. It really feels like this app wasn't ready to launch. I've seen some minor things I wouldn't expect to see on a company's website, lack of capitalization and some mislabeled hyperlinks. It just makes it feel a little unprofessional. So they obviously need your selfies to verify that you're a woman, and I guess they needed the IDs to verify you're not using a random person's photo. There's really no need for KYC because this isn't a finance app. If I was the app developer, here's what I would do different. Firstly, I would have secured and encrypted my bucket, storing sensitive private user information. Two, I would have not necessarily collected user IDs for such an app, especially at an early stage, without a proper security audit. Thirdly, I would have deleted the user photos and IDs after verification. There's no need to keep them around, and they could also save costs that way, even though cloud storage is kind of cheap. And lastly, I would have simply just used a third-party KYC system. They still seem to be going ahead with the app, and people are still signing up for some reason. If they really want to recover after this, after they believe they've secured everything internally, the database, the app, the buckets, they should really get a third-party security audit done. That's the only way I could trust a company after this. Now, not directly related to tech, but the promised controversy. Some people are saying they deserve to have their info leaked because they were talking bad about men. And some people think it was bad that they were doxxed because no one deserves to be doxxed. And yeah, here's my controversial opinion. I think the men didn't deserve to be doxxed, and the women did not deserve to be doxxed. I think the app developers should have developed and moderated the app better to prevent the doxing of the men. The lies can't be verified and moderated, but at least remove their private information. I guess the whole premise of the app does include some degree of doxing, and they probably don't care about the men's personal info if they didn't even care about the user's personal info. So yes, I do feel bad for the men that were doxed and the women that were doxed. I unfortunately think data leaks like this will become more common because of the rise of vibe coding, but I honestly hope that I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think about this data leak and the app in general. And that's all. Subscribe for more.